Today we're going to review the key motorcycle licensing and safety rules for riders in Ohio. This is the kind of knowledge that shows up on the Class M motorcycle exam, covering licensing requirements, road rules, rider safety, and real-world riding behavior. Here are the key questions for the Ohio motorcycle exam. What agency issues motorcycle licenses in Ohio? Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles (BMV). This is the state agency responsible for driver licensing, including motorcycle endorsements and testing. Let's continue. What is the minimum age to apply for a motorcycle temporary instruction permit (TIPIC) in Ohio? 15 years and 6 months old. This allows young riders to begin learning under restricted conditions before full licensing. Next question. What is required to obtain a motorcycle license in Ohio? Pass a knowledge test, obtain a TIPIC, complete a skills test or approved safety course. You must demonstrate both knowledge and safe riding ability to be licensed. Continuing. What Ohio-approved course can waive the motorcycle skills test? The Motorcycle Ohio Basic Rider Course or OPSAP approved equivalent. Completing an approved safety course can replace the riding skills test entirely. Let's move on. What restriction applies to a motorcycle TIPIC holder in Ohio? Cannot ride at night, cannot carry passengers, and cannot ride on freeways. These restrictions reduce risk while the rider is still learning. Next point. What is the minimum age for a full unrestricted motorcycle license in Ohio? 18 years old. At this age, riders can qualify for full riding privileges if they meet all requirements. Let's continue. What does a Class M license in Ohio authorize? Operating a motorcycle or motor-driven cycle on public roads. This is the official endorsement required to legally ride a motorcycle. Next question. What is the helmet law for motorcycle riders in Ohio? Riders under 18 and those with a temporary permit must wear a .approved helmet. Riders over 18 with a valid license are exempt. Helmet use depends on age and licensing status under Ohio law. Continuing. What type of helmet meets Ohio requirements? A Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 218 approved helmet. This certification ensures the helmet meets federal safety standards. Let's move on. What is the eye protection requirement in Ohio for riders not wearing a helmet? Eye protection is required for all riders unless the motorcycle has a windscreen. This helps protect against wind, debris, and road hazards. Next point. What is the lane use rule for motorcycles in Ohio? Motorcycles are entitled to full use of a lane and no vehicle may deprive them of it. Motorcycles have the same lane rights as other vehicles. Continuing. Is lane splitting legal in Ohio? No, lane splitting is illegal in Ohio. Riders must remain within a single lane of traffic. Next question. How many motorcycles may legally ride abreast in one lane in Ohio? 2 motorcycles may share a lane riding side by side. This is the only permitted form of lane sharing. Let's continue. What is the safest lane position within a lane for a motorcycle? The left third for visibility and to avoid road debris and drain covers. This position improves visibility and reduces road hazard exposure. Next point. What causes most single-vehicle motorcycle crashes? Rider error, including running wide in curves and target fixation. Many crashes happen without other vehicles being involved. Continuing. What is target fixation? The tendency to steer toward whatever the rider is looking at, causing crashes when focusing on obstacles. Where you look directly affects where the motorcycle goes. Next question. What is the correct braking technique on a motorcycle in Ohio? Apply both front and rear brakes simultaneously with more pressure on the front. Balanced braking improves stability and stopping power. Let's move on. What percentage of stopping power comes from the front brake on a motorcycle? About 70%. Most braking force comes from the front tire under proper technique. Continuing. What should a rider do if the front wheel locks during braking? Release the front brake immediately, then reapply gradually. This helps regain traction and control. Next point. What is the correct body position when cornering? Keep the motorcycle leaned and body slightly upright, pressing the outside foot peg. Proper positioning improves balance through turns. Let's continue. What is counter steering and when is it used? Pushing forward on the inside handlebar to initiate a lean, used at speeds above 12 miles per hour. This is the fundamental technique for turning a motorcycle at speed. Next question. What following distance should a motorcycle maintain behind a vehicle? At least 3 to 4 seconds more in poor conditions. Extra space gives more reaction time to hazards. Continuing. Why do motorcycles benefit from extra following distance? It provides time to react to debris and road hazards that are more dangerous to riders than to car drivers. Motorcycles are more vulnerable to road conditions than cars. Next point, what should a motorcyclist do when being tailgated? Increase the following distance from the vehicle ahead to create a larger safety cushion. This gives more escape options if something goes wrong. Let's move on. What is the most common collision between a motorcycle and a car? A car turning left in front of the motorcycle at an intersection. This is one of the most frequent and dangerous crash scenarios. Next question. What should a motorcyclist do to improve visibility at intersections? Ride in the most visible lane position, cover the brakes, and make eye contact with drivers. Visibility and readiness are key for intersection safety. Continuing. What is the correct way to cross railroad tracks on a motorcycle? Cross at an angle of at least 45 degrees to avoid the wheel dropping into the groove. This prevents loss of balance or control. Next point. What surface hazards are most dangerous for motorcyclists? Gravel, sand, wet leaves, oil slicks, and wet painted markings. These surfaces reduce traction significantly. Let's continue. What is the safest way to handle a blowout on a motorcycle? Grip the handlebars firmly, ease off the throttle, avoid sudden braking, and steer gradually to safety. Smooth control is critical during tire failure. Next question. What should a rider do when approaching a curve too fast? Look through the curve, lean gradually, and avoid braking while leaned. Proper technique helps maintain traction through the turn. Continuing. What is the risk of braking while leaned in a curve? The tires can lose traction and the motorcycle can slide out. Braking mid-corner can cause a loss of stability. Next point. What protective gear is recommended for Ohio motorcycle riders? Jacket with abrasion resistance, gloves, ankle-covering boots, and long pants with protective padding. Proper gear significantly reduces injury severity. Let's move on. What does ATGATT mean? All the gear all the time, meaning full protective equipment on every ride. This is a core safety principle for motorcyclists. Next question. What effect does alcohol have on motorcycle operation? It impairs balance, coordination, and reaction time, making riding especially dangerous. Even small amounts greatly increase crash risk. Continuing. What is the BAC limit for motorcycle operators in Ohio? 0.08%, same as passenger vehicle operators. The legal limit is the same for all standard drivers. Next point. What is the zero tolerance rule for riders under 21 in Ohio? Any BAC of 0.02% or higher results in license suspension. Underage riders face stricter impairment limits. Let's continue. What is speed wobble on a motorcycle? A rapid front wheel oscillation at high speed from improper loading or tire issues, corrected by gripping the tank with knees and easing off the throttle. Proper body control helps stabilize the motorcycle. Next question. What is the recommended group riding formation in Ohio? Staggered formation with each rider offset in the lane and at least 1 second between riders in the same position. This improves visibility and reaction space in groups. Continuing. What is the minimum following distance between motorcycles in a group? At least 2 seconds from the rider directly ahead in the same lane position. Spacing reduces collision risk in group riding. Next point. What should a group leader do before a ride? Brief all riders on the route, hand signals, rest stops, and what to do if separated. Preparation ensures coordinated and safe group movement. Let's move on. What is the Ohio law on motorcycle insurance? All registered motorcycles must carry minimum liability insurance. Insurance is required for legal operation on public roads. Next question. What must an Ohio motorcyclist do after an accident with injury or damage over $400? Stop, render aid, exchange information, and report to law enforcement. Drivers are legally required to take action after serious crashes. Continuing. What is the correct way to load a motorcycle? Keep weight low and centered, secure all loads, and avoid bags that affect steering. Proper loading maintains balance and control. Next point. What does a passenger do to handling? Adds weight, shifting balance, affecting braking distance, and lean angles, requiring technique adjustment. Passengers change how the motorcycle responds. Let's continue. What must a passenger have on an Ohio motorcycle? A DOT-approved helmet, a proper seat, and foot pegs the passenger must be able to reach. Passengers must be properly equipped and secured. Next question. What is ATC/LOCS inspection? A pre-ride check covering tires, controls, lights, oil, chassis, and stands. This is a standard safety inspection before riding. Continuing. What is the friction zone on a motorcycle clutch? The range where the clutch partially engages, used for low speed control and smooth starts. It is essential for controlled maneuvering. Next point, what is the correct technique for a quick stop on a motorcycle with ABS? Apply both brakes firmly and hold them. ABS prevents lockup and maintains steering. ABS allows controlled maximum braking. Let's move on. What causes a motorcycle to weave at low speed? Improper steering input, slow speed, instability, and incorrect body position corrected by looking ahead, and smooth throttle. Smooth inputs are key to stability at low speeds. Next question. What is the effect of riding in rain on braking distance? Wet roads significantly increase stopping distance, requiring earlier and more gradual brake application. Rain reduces traction and increases stopping distance.